Please be a close, not stick.
Let's get stick. Imagine.
Oh my god.
Call it again, dude. Call it again. That is... Hello and welcome to a Phase 7 100% Enrage Plus guide to the Zamorak boss. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Phase 7 is a phase that requires both good damage and good defensives, as otherwise you will not survive. For this exact reason, I'm going to suggest you use a full set of Crit Bloom armor, as it provides you with a fungal shield if you drop below 20% life points. I'm also going to suggest you have a Fractured Staff of Armadyl and the required crit bonuses to deal a lot of damage in a short period of time. To receive a further 20% damage reduction, you're going to want to use a Hellhound Familiar, which you can keep alive with scrolls during the fight or with a Prism of Restoration. Alternatively, you can simply summon one in Phase 7 as well. As for other recommendations, you're going to want to have an Adrenaline Potion, Power Burst of Vitality, and if possible, runes for spellbook swaps and Disruption Shield as well. Now, it's very much possible to do Phase 7 without the Fractured Staff of Armadyl or Crit Bloom, but it's so much easier with these items, especially if you want to one cycle every single time. The strategy for Phase 7 depends very much on your group size, and as I believe solos are likely to be changed in the future due to solos requiring the same amount of runes as a duo, this guide will be focused towards duos only. Although solo is very similar, but you have to deal with both runes yourself. The pad order I use for Phase 7 100% Enrage Plus is almost the same as the one I used in my beginner's guide for 99% Enrage and below, except I like to put number 2 first. The reason you do this is because the pad order is inverted in Phase 7, so that means the pad you activate first will have the highest stacks until you go into Phase 7 where it will have the lowest stacks. So the debuffs you don't want to have in Phase 7 should be activated early on in the normal fight, phases 1 to 6. In my case, that is the execution HP percentage debuff, because I do not want to get executed at 25% health, because I can definitely still survive at that health. Now you can play around with the pad order to make Phase 7 easier, but it's basically picking your poison, because if you do that, you're going to be suffering through 6 phases just to make that final phase that tiny bit easier, which may not even be required. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about how Phase 7 works, and if you enjoy my Runescape content, be sure to subscribe. After finishing Phase 6, you'll be sucked into Infernus automatically. At the start, I suggest eating up with food if required and putting on Protect from Magic. One Chaos Demon will be present in Infernus, which you want to take out ASAP. Because after only 2 magic hits, Zamorak will start channeling a red health bar you can see in the top. During this part of the fight, he's completely immune to damage, but you are able to apply buffs like Vuln and Smoke Cloud for yourself in advance. After those 2 magic auto attacks, Zamorak will showcase which runes you need to attack in order, starting with the first rune, which player 1 should start attacking straight away, and then about 5 seconds later the second rune, which player 2, in this case being me, should attack. These runes have 25,000 life points each, and the slower you take them out, the higher the damage you'll encounter once Zamorak has finished channeling. Both players should use Tsunami and their FS Away special attack on the rune, and it is also important to highlight that you need to kill these runes in order. So if you end up killing rune 2 faster than rune 1, you will take a massive hit to the face. The same will happen if you somehow double kill the rune, so remember you only need to remove those 25,000 life points once. After killing both runes in order, you should go straight back to Zamorak, eat up to full and use your ultimate ability while also putting on Protect from Melee, as this is the part where you take major damage and need to do as much damage as you can in just around 20 seconds. Zamorak will start with a melee slam and then immediately launch a red bomb that deals damage based on how far the bar was charged, and then follows that up with 4 weaker red bombs. First, you should know that these bombs are area of effect bombs, so do not stand near your fellow player, otherwise you'll both take double damage and die very quickly. The way I suggest dealing with all of this damage is by sipping a Power Burst of Vitality right after the melee slam to double your health, and if you'd like, you can additionally use a Lunar Spellbook swap and then Disruption Shield to reduce the incoming hit. While doing this, you want to dish out damage with your active FS Away spec. Now if you don't have enough Adrenaline, sip an Adrenaline Potion or use Limitless and then use Shadow Tendrils. As soon as you have enough Adrenaline, use Wild Magic and then Omni Power, and if that isn't enough, you can also use Asphyxiate and the Armadyl Battle Staff EOF as well. Now if you're not able to one cycle this phase, Zamorak will follow up those 5 red bombs by saying heed my call, then throw another melee slam at you and a big red bomb right after. If you see that coming towards you, use Resonance and Debilitate to reduce incoming damage because your Power Burst will likely be on cooldown. If you do have to 2-cycle, it's virtually the same thing. Take out the minion, do the 2 runes in order, and then finish off Zamorak, except this time he will have far less health for you to deal with. If you are struggling with damage, it is also possible to stack shards throughout the fight and then using the Shatter ability in phase 7, which can do up to 30,000 damage. Let's go through this one more time in real time, seeing both perspectives of players 1 and 2. At the start of phase 7, I drop a Prism of Restoration because my Hellhound's health is a little bit low. I turn on Protect from Magic and I attack the demon together with my buddy Lootshark. While we finish off the demon, I move towards Zamorak to Smoke Cloud and Vol on him in advance to provide us with a little extra time and more focus for the damage part. As you can see, the first rune is shown, which is a star, and player 1, in this case my buddy Lootshark, starts attacking the rune straight away. A few seconds later, the second rune is shown, and as I'm player 2, that is my rune, so I move to the back to start to attack it. Now as Lootshark takes the first rune and is right next to the boss, he can actually Sunshine instead of Metamorphosis and use the rune to build some adrenaline. Since both runes are dead, Zamorak will start his deadly blows soon, so I use Protect from melee and use my ultimate, in this case Metamorphosis. Now because I used the Power Burst earlier, I can't use one here and I use Disruption Shield instead. Because of this mistake, I took a little bit more damage than I'd like, although because I have Soul Split turned on now and I'm dealing so much damage, I'll be healing it back and Zamorak will be dead in no time. Now I would have died there because my Power Burster was on cooldown and I couldn't use it, but thanks to the Fungal Shield of that 5-piece Crypt Bloom armor set, I survived. And because we chose Rune 2 first, we didn't have a very high execution HP percentage. With that being said, we've come to the end of this guide. If you found it helpful, be sure to drop a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.